We got a big one. We are in the Sunshine State, not the Sunshine State right now. We got a hurricane making its way towards the state's west coast, but Tyler Williams, top 247 wide receiver at a Lakeland high school. That is a storied program. He's going to announce his commitment here. Look at him right there, the number 20 wide receiver in the class of 2023. This is a former basketball player. He had a few offers from some mid-majors to score on the hardwood, but he's going to catch passes on Saturdays and potentially one day on Sunday. So Tyler, he's down to a handful of schools. Georgia, the 24/7 sports crystal ball leader. Miami, South Carolina, Clemson, Texas A&M. Ole Miss has also been involved. And we're just going to get right into this. Tyler's going to join us right now live from Lakeland, Florida. Okay, Tyler, tell me why today? Why are you announcing today? What's special about this date? I know we were talking about it last night after your game.
So the day, this is my grandma's birthday and the day my uncle passed.
You're down to 6 schools. You're a guy that has tons of scholarship offers. You had basketball scholarship offers. Why these 6 schools, and why did you narrow your focus to this group?
These 6 schools, I'll say, they've been the realest to me throughout this whole process, and I felt the most comfortable every time I went there.
I'm going to ask you about 2 schools, right? It's my job to kind of handicap this thing. Miami, you were just there over the weekend for an unofficial visit. You're also in Coral Gables a few weeks before that. What has Miami in this final group?
A lot, really. Every time I went, the visits just got better. I would say this last one this weekend was my best visit. I was able to see a lot more and talk to the coaches a lot more.
And then Georgia, Kirby Smart and the Bulldogs, they have some history there in Polk County. They just won a national title. Obviously, they're off to a good start here in 2022. Brian McClendon, those guys, what do you like about Georgia? Why are they in the final group?
A lot, just the production in the receiver room and then the coaching staff there. I have a great connection with all of them.
Well, Tyler, the floor is yours. Take as much time as you need. Thank you. And we'll go from there. So, well, let's see where you're headed.
Y'all ready? I would like to welcome me and Lotto as the new dogs.
Tyler.
What's up?
Tyler, you can hear me. Who are these puppies? Who are these dogs? Why Georgia, man?
All right, first, this is Lotto. And Georgia, just because I feel the best there. I feel like I can be developed. The coaching staff, I feel like I'm in the best environment. And then they probably got the best wide receiver room right now.
When did you know Georgia was going to be the pick?
I could say the beginning of August, the end of July, when I went on my last visit there.
Yeah. And then, how long have you had the puppy?
It's actually like a close friend of mine, but I might make it mine. It depends.
Okay. Well, last thing I'm going to ask for you, I'm going to let you guys continue that celebration. What is Georgia getting in you? What are they getting?
Complete player overall, athlete, both sides of the ball, special teams, and our receiver.
Well, Tyler, congratulations, man. First one to do it with the puppy. We've had alligators. We had Peter Warwick. Now we got a bulldog on there. Thanks again, buddy, and congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Georgia it is. Georgia was the 24/7 sports crystal ball leader coming in to the weekend. A late push from the Miami Hurricanes. They got a pair of unofficial visits from Tyler Williams. And we're going to break this down. Cooper Pategna, my colleague on the Oyster Boys, Preps to Pros, whatever you want to call it. We're going to talk a little bit about this for Georgia. Cooper, it was an interesting announcement, man. They keep getting creative. The puppies, my girlfriend's trying to, or fiance's trying to poke her head in here to see them. Just your initial takeaways on this.
Well, first of all, it was a very electric commitment there from Tyler Williams. But this is a big one for the Dogs, man. They move up to the number 2 ranked class in the 24/7 sports composite team rankings. And Drew, this is a guy that's been on your radar for a while now, but he's the number 182 prospect in the top 247, number 20 receiver in the country right now. I got a feeling that's going to change here pretty soon. Tyler Williams having a really productive senior season, and a guy that played quarterback his sophomore year, transitioned to the receiver spot at Lakeland as a junior, only caught 21 balls as a junior. 11 of those went for touchdowns, over 600 yards receiving, but he is a dynamic up-and-coming receiver, and I think a guy that's really going to change Georgia's receiver room.
I think the interesting with him is just, how raw he is, but how he still makes things look easy. You mentioned that basketball background. I mean, FGCU, Dunk City, the former Cinderella story, they offered him a scholarship. And there was a time when it looked like he was going to be a basketball kid. Obviously, he never became 6'5", 6'6", but I was at Tyler's game last night. This was a kid that was a twig when I saw him, a year ago, and he's put on some size. I think he measured 207 at Miami, so he's filling out nicely. I think he could be a monster on the perimeter, and I think he fits that Georgia offense and what they want to do. They need guys that can block on the outside, but also create separation and run some deeper routes. So I think this is a big get for Georgia. And I think it's a statement down in the Sunshine State. Let's not forget, Tyler Williams, he took visits to Clemson. Clemson's kind of traditionally been billed as wide receiver U. He was out at Texas A&M. We know how the Aggies have recruited. And then Miami makes this massive push in the 11th hour, and Kirby Smart is able to stiff arm the Hurricanes and Mario Cristobal. So I think it's a big get in that sense. Any player comp that jumps out to you when you think of Tyler Williams? I know it's a difficult one. I was with some college contacts texting back and forth. Hey, who does this kid remind you of? So I'm interested, Cooper. Do you have one?
Yeah, Marvin Jones Jr. from Jacksonville with the Jaguars. I think Robbie Anderson was another guy with the Carolina Panthers who played his ball at Temple. But you talked about a big physical receiver that can stretch the field. We don't have a lot of verified information on Tyler Williams, but you mentioned that basketball background, a guy that averaged over 11 points per game. You talked about the scholarship offer to Florida Gulf Coast, and last time we saw them in an NCAA tournament, we know what type of athleticism they had on the floor. So that says a lot about the type of athlete and dynamic playmaker that Georgia is getting, and he is just starting to scratch the surface of what he's going to become. So if you're a Georgia Bulldog fan, you got Brian McClendon leading that receiver room. I think this is another guy 3 to 4 years from now, we'll be looking back and saying, all right, this guy has a chance to develop to a day 1 or day 2 NFL draft pick.
Well, let's take big picture wise. I mean, obviously, Georgia is going to recruit well. They just won a college football playoff. I mean, what do you think this means for the class when we look at what Georgia's done on the trail really over the past, 12 months? It's been a lot of stuff on the defensive side of the ball, and you're kind of wondering, hey, where's this stuff? What's going to happen on offense? I mean, that's my takeaway when you look at it. What about you?
Well, they know who they are offensively, with those 2 tight ends that they have in the class as well. Raymond Cottrell, a guy that has played a little bit of everywhere this season down there in the state of Florida. So you look at some of the guys that they have in that room already and how he changes it. You love what Georgia's doing on the offensive end. And I think they know who they are with Todd Monken, the offensive coordinator. So I think this is another guy that fits who they want to be and what they are from an offensive standpoint. Obviously, they've had the most success this season. So I think Georgia trending in the right direction. And as they have more success on the field, I think they know who they are, what they want to be offensively. We've seen that with them going out and getting a guy like Tyler Williams.
So Tyler Williams, he has headed to Athens, Georgia. And I didn't even mention this, Polk County right there, Lakeland High School. The Pouncey twins came out of there. I mean, Florida has had a stronghold on the Dreadnoughts in the past. So you wonder what happens when you win big and you're Kirby Smart. It's winning recruiting battles like this. I know it was a long commitment ceremony for everyone. Another unique one. Aiden Mizell did the Alligators. Now we got Tyler Williams with the Bulldogs. But if you like this stuff, you want to keep the lights on, and you want to see more college commitments, please like and subscribe to the 24/7 Sports YouTube channel. For Andrew Ivins, Cooper Bategna, you can catch us every Monday and Wednesday on this channel talking on preps to pros. We're getting into the nitty-gritty, the rosters, all that stuff, and what's happening with both college football recruiting and on the field and the coaching carousel. So for those guys, for 24/7 Sports, thanks again for tuning in.